Alright. The Thumb East Capo. Capo 4. Wouldn't that mean this is like the strongest identity lore-wise yet? I don't think we've ever had anyone stronger. They did state that Capo 4 is right below underboss, right? So like it's stronger than like Ricardo, and we didn't even get like a big brother identity. So this might be our strongest lore-wise identity yet. Dang. Straight into it, goal. Alright. Hopefully that's him.
명령은 경청하고 있어요. 그저 감히 상급자와 눈이 맞지 않도록 시선을 아래로 둘 뿐.
I listen carefully to every order I'm given. I just look to the ground to not risk staring at my superior straight in the eyes. Alright, I got one of them. That's cool. We gotta keep going. Ooh, not good. Come on, give me a fake out. Damn. Keep going. Whoa! Come on! Hell yeah!
곱씹어보고 내게 말 붙이길 권장하지. 혓바닥을
That's so
잡았다는
cool.
건 오늘은 그만하고 싶고.
Think it over 3 times hard before talking to me. I have ripped out enough tongues for today. Woo! Man's looking spicy. Alright. 3 poles. Let's get over Sinclair. Ooh, we're already having the need to scroll down. Oh boy. Let's see what his story is about.
무례하네요. 언더보스의 명령을 따르지 않았음에도 감히 숨을 쉬고 있다니.
Tales from the Promoted. New promotee assignment. Express your honest and plain feelings regarding your promotion below. Excellent remarkable essays will be selected and published in the next month's monthly Thumb Through issue and will be positively reflected upon your next promotion review. Note: above instructions were designed with reference to page 1271 of the Thumb Introductory Manual section, How to Encourage Your Juniors. 1. I love listening to the pre-training lectures from our superiors. I always make sure to stand in the frontmost row whenever we line up for inspection to hear combat tips and etiquette lectures from the esteemed Capo Primos. Low-ranking soldatos like us are always prone to making so many mistakes since we're still in the learning stage. But thankfully to the higher-ups who have taught us really well, I've not made a single mistake ever since I joined the Thumb. Oh! Earlier, the reputable and respected Capo Quarto, I don't dare write his esteemed name down here. Anyway, he gave us some excellent pointers and words of encouragement, so I think we can attribute much of our own growth to him. Unfortunately, I could not get a very good look at his face because it would be against etiquette to stare directly at a superior's face, but I think he really is a great person with the cool cigar and all. 2. I enjoy getting my meals according to my station. It's very convenient how we get regularly rationed food at designated hours every single day. When my rank was just a primo, our designated meal hours were so much later than everyone else's that I feel like I was starving, but hey, I got used to it by my 3rd day here. I don't even feel hunger before it's my time to eat. When I was a kid, I always had access to food whenever I wanted, so sometimes I'd overeat or skip meals, which was probably not great for my health. but I've really been building some muscle thanks to the regimented life here. So that's pretty awesome, huh? 3. I enjoy the feeling of moving forward step by step. Not long ago, I used to spend most of my time with the propellant rounds cleaning duty, but I'm finally bestowed with a super important role. I'm finally on the ammo delivery duty for the esteemed couples in the field. Some of my comrades worry about getting dragged into a fight way above our pay grade and killed by some stray blade out of nowhere, but I don't quite agree with that sentiment. Wouldn't it be such a wonderful honor to get caught up in those legendary battles between people who are way above my station? Doesn't that just sound extremely unlucky? I think I'd consider it a great honor even as I die. I'm happy here, learning how to use a bayonet, familiarizing myself with the weapon alongside my comrades. It's a lot of fun being able to really use the actual genuine propellant rounds as I train myself how to use them. Just a few days ago, our training sessions consisted of shouting "bang" and moving a bit forward instead of firing live propellant bullets. Oh, of course, all of those training were extremely necessary. The booster jerked me forward really hard when I used it for the first time, that it almost slammed me to the floor. Took me a while to get used to the sudden acceleration. Actually using the propulsion from the gun is vastly different from pretending there's a propulsion. It's kinda interesting how I can change the output mode to slashing too. I had no idea it was a thing back when I was a primo. The Thumb of the other regions apparently don't use weapons like these, so I guess these propelled slashes or powerful stabs are exclusive to us. Well, so different sides, different actions, okay. These are the moments when I feel so lucky to be part of the Thumb in the East. 5. I get so excited when we get to chop the rude and discourteous people to pieces. The kind of people who don't understand their place. Whenever I go out on a mission, we always seem to run into so many disrespectful people. At first, I was kind of concerned and scared of having to hurt other people. But then I thought, if these people were a part of our organization, they would have long lost their jaws and tongues and what have you with that attitude. How dare they raise their voices at us? This realization sunk this empathy thing deep into the depths of my heart, and that allowed me to just carry out the missions as I'm told. I think this makes the Thumb the organization composed of the most upstanding people in the city. Don't you agree? Bawling their eyes out, snot and all, hanging so pathetically onto our trousers and begging for their lives. I mean, that's just plain rude, isn't it? 6. I love following orders and doing things according to the proper procedures. It's what differentiates the Thumb from the other fingers. This kinda has to do with my 5th point. See, I really don't understand the other fingers whenever I get a chance to talk to them. I won't get too into it in case I accidentally come across as though I'm disrespecting the esteemed officers of other fingers, but well, I just want to say that I'm very excited for the finger bow bell. And one last thing, the Thumb is where I can be special, and I am going to become someone special, a big, an officer of the Thumb. I just need to put in honest work, diligently climb the ladder, and in a few years, I know I'm going to become someone really awesome. And that's everything. Thanks for reading. Soldato 2 Sinclair. Yeah, that's interesting. The finger bow bell. I'm gonna assume that's what's gonna happen during the real shoe scan too. I'll do this later. I need to know about the man of the hour first.
이 천퇴성도의 이름을 감추어야 한다는 점은 다소 아쉽지만 날개 돋은 듯한 호랑이의 포효 소리를 내비칠 수 있으니 이 정도로 만족하지.
I understand that the room may be disorderly, but I insist that you sit anyway. Off. Air rushes out of the leather chair. Its sounds fills the empty, quiet room with its at once sophisticated and suffocating momentousness. At the center of it all is the child, sitting with one leg over the other in an overbearingly assured manner. The room is practically decorated with mutilated bodies and disturbingly thorough splatters of blood, but he does not seem to mind it one bit. I trust you would find the present state of my office acceptable. The Thumb treats lessons in manners with utmost seriousness. I have heard the stories, indeed. I understand your request very well. Or perhaps, one might assume that this is also a prepared scene drawn with intent. But the person sitting opposite of him also cannot be underestimated. She simply smiles before producing a small piece of paper, as though she was sitting in a normal, average room that was not painted top to bottom with remnants of vicious violence. I did expect someone of higher station given the private one-to-one meeting requests, but... Allow me to treat you with the better manners. It seems that your station deserves as much. Apologies for my earlier effrontery, my lady. I am willing to self-mutilate according to Thumb's rules of respect as much as you would like. The paper she handed him seemed to have been a business card of sorts. The child gently took it from her hand and placed it in a fancy golden card holder with reverent care. Well, it is of no interest to me whatever you would choose to do with yourself, but I understand that stopping you would also cause you some undue trouble. Do as you will. Oh, actually, fresh blood can really stain the clothes unlike dried blood, so I would prefer if you didn't engage in self-inflicted corporal punishments. I am highly impressed by your lack of concern for the rigidity of hierarchy, and your considerate behavior befitting your nobility. You are someone deserving of proper respect indeed. It's nothing compared to what I am about to ask of you. The child's words convey a deep emotional gratitude, but his tone is flat and emotionless as a stone. And the person sitting opposite him speaks words that are gentle, but it is clear that they shroud certain inscrutable intents. In this bizarre juxtaposition, the person continued to explain a plan of sorts, and by the time she was wrapping up her elaboration, even the ever-stoic child could not help but furrow his brows at an almost imperceptible angle. While it may be discourteous, this is, after all, my office. I do not believe that my subsequent requests will go against reason. May I have your permission to light a cigar? I don't mind. It's obviously a very premium cigar rolled from fine leaves. It should smell fragrant enough. Thank you. I appreciate your understanding, my lady. He trims off the tip of the cigar with a cutter, the sharp blade slicing through with ease. A smoldering faint ember lights up at its end. The child puffs out a plume of smoke in an exhalation that was more like a deep sigh. The conversation continues. So, to summarize your offer, you would like for me to serve the role of a clan member in this family hierarch war of Hongyuan on the side of the Shi family. She nods wordlessly. The child continues. And if the next hierarch is not one from the Shi family, decapitate the hierarch to be and plummet Hongyuan into chaos. I am certain that my lady is discerning enough to understand that the ramifications of such an incident will inevitably spread beyond the political conflict between the families. Your request is that we are to become the blast of firepower signaling the start to a wing war. Please illuminate me if my assessment is incorrect. That is not what I said. But even if such were the case, what about it? Or, don't tell me, is this too much for your organization to handle? The child waits a moment before inhaling deeply from his cigar. In that brief moment, the child most likely completed any and all calculations and simulations of what this situation entailed. Your higher placement on the hierarchy does not grant you the right to say to my face whatever comes to your mind. There is no such thing as too much for the Thumb. Your statement has room to be interpreted as an expression of disrespect to the syndicate itself. And to do so would be to disrespect the esteemed underboss, meaning to punish you would not go against the tenets of our organization. I will now present before you an opportunity to claim that my interpretation was but a misunderstanding. Of course it was but a simple misunderstanding. The child seemed to have won this bout of subtle yet palpable psychological warfare. He managed to make the opponent's eyelids flinch for the first time. Very well, then I will understand your proposition in a more literal manner. Then, please allow me to inquire about your preparation for the task at hand. And the child did not let this brief moment of weakness pass. Biting lightly onto his cigar, the child rose from his seat and grabbed a fistful of ammunition from his belt and placed them on the table between them. We call them tiger mark rounds. The city makes it rather difficult to make liberal use of ammunition, but these are quite special even among them. Not to mention the cost of my subordinates' propellant ammo. In addition, I must also ask if you really are prepared to pay the price of letting me loose. Be assured, however, that once we are committed to a mission, we do not make liberal use of ammunition. Take this into your consideration. Do you really think that the Shi family, one of the 4 great houses, has such a thing as monetary concerns? That is not the concern that I am speaking of. My concern is about how you, someone who's not even from the Shi family, can mobilize such a significant amount of capital. Woohoo! Doesn't my business card clearly state the name of the Shi family? It takes more than sitting around to earn the title of a capo. Well, okay, but what of it? Must I actually be a part of the family to meddle in their affairs? I'm sure you, of all people, should know. Ah, that blade. It has been forged into a rather fancy podao, hasn't it? We will take the contract. Oh my, that's good news. I will send my underlings to share further details at a later date. Let us part this meeting for now. The child had clearly won that invisible fight, so what was it that turned the tables on him so easily? It is no surprise, of course. No one could have expected that she knew so much about the child, even down to his deepest secrets. Once the guests left, the office was silent again, save for the sound of the child exhaling plumes upon plumes of smoke at a uniform level. She knows the origin of the Tuan Tui Star's blade. Then, is she also a Pinky? No, it is possible that someone of her station could have heard hints or vague tales about the Pinky. It doesn't matter. If someone is this close by, I suppose I shall encounter them when the stigma burns hot. The Pinky cannot help but summon only those who are nearby. Besides, this is good work for the Thumb, and reasonable. More than anything, however, I think this will be fun. What a rare sense of anticipation. With clear, high-pitched noise of clinking metal, the spent bullet casings pop out of the child's blade. And a few seconds later, he lands. 18 tiger mark rounds spent. The child sweeps his belt and contemplates. Contemplating if he should use the savage tiger mark rounds, the powers of which are greater than the tiger mark rounds. Of course, simply changing to a different type of ammunition doesn't immediately make him stronger. The power of the Tian Tui Star's blade comes from the user and his judgment call on when he must use which bullet. The Jialan Guards. So much for the protectors of the noble Jia family. They made for quite the disappointing task. The child probably didn't even have to use the tiger mark rounds to defeat them, but he reloaded the blade with savage tiger mark rounds anyway. If this is all the fun they have to offer, I suppose I must find entertainment in the freedom of getting to swing this blade with abandon. The cost of his ammunition was coming from the client's pocket anyway. He would rather choose excitement over frugality. For the sum that the client brought, the foes I have faced thus far have been so tasteless. Perhaps she miscalculated. If she did not, then something stops the child. He looks toward the sound of the footsteps approaching from a distance. The approaching footsteps belong to a rather large group. The child instinctively sensed that this was the moment he was hired for. Ah, they were running late. Does the child know? One wonders. The ennui drove me to relish this dance for but a moment. Then, unbeknownst to him, his lips were twisted into a grin. He's badass.
이 기회에 평소 지휘 실력을 확인해보죠, 따태. 하던 대로 해보십시오. 받아볼 텐가. 전탄 격발.
That's very flashy.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
Damn. Damn.
명령에 따르겠습니다.
전탄 격발. 받아볼 텐가.
Damn. 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 At least it's unbreakable.
화력 추진. 차! 타! 화력 추진. 차! 타!
직접 싸워보질 않아서 되게 효과적일 것이라고 생각했나. 관리자의 전투도 귀찮은 부위가 번질러진 모양이죠. 관리자, 우선순위를 잘 분별해서 잘난
총알값 아까울 놈.
기대하겠습니다.
Nice. So the Savage Tiger markdowns, he removes his hat.
노래가 없군.
Cool.
받아볼 텐가.
기차 동정은 필요 없겠죠.
Alright, alright.
얼간이들이 흥겨워하는군. 대체로 저럴 때 이유가 있는 겁니다. 이유를 쫓아보시죠. 그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 이 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이 덜 답답한
전격발.
것들을 사들고 오는 것이
한 점만 노린다.
이런 보수적인 효과를 기대했었죠. 그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요.
꽤 뚫려라.
한 조치였습니다.
꽤 뚫리고.
전탄 격발. 이것밖에 못하나.
그 삶에 마침표를. 이러면 쏠 수 있죠?
시야 확보. 쏜다. 총알값 아까울 놈은